What's up everybody, how are you doing, how was your day? I am Young Yoko, and today we're going to be going over the best settings for Cuisine Royale. Now, so you've played a couple matches, you're feeling a little fresh, but you want to start really upping your game, so let's start with going to the options. Now for me, I always use high performance. High quality seems to be okay. Honestly, as far as frame rate for consoles, there's not that big of a difference. For PC, it kind of staggers a little bit, but I always go for the high performance. For sound, I keep my ambient noise off. I keep the regular volume, the master volume, if you will, maxed out. The reason I keep ambient volume down is because I don't feel like hearing all the birds chirp. Now this doesn't reduce the crackling sound like you might be able to hear in the fire, or some of the footsteps, so you actually kind of want to keep this up. Interface volume, that seems to be personal preference. Music volume doesn't bother me too much. I have it just set here just because of the in-game music from the boomboxes. Speech, of course, is coming from the players, and then gunfire, always have it maxed out. I have the Streambox boomer mode just because we stream and you get into copyrights with BBC and all the other stuff. All right, let's go to controls. Now for me, this is a pretty standard control setting for me, going off a console anyways. I don't have aim assist on. I would highly recommend turning aim assist on, especially with the new patch that they just did. For me personally, I'm kind of transitioning into PC and I'm working on a true aim, so that's kind of why I have this off. But okay, for the controller speed, I would stay anywhere between a 1 to a 2. Anything out of that and you're kind of losing sensitivity. You're really losing your aim and your focus here. Your aiming mode sensitivity multiplier is basically the faster you rotate your aim, the faster it's going to pick up speed. So if you're making small adjustments while aiming down sight, it's great. It's going to be real tight. And then as you're broadening your aim outwards to the left and to the right, it's going to start really expediting exponentially. So I keep this low just because I make minor adjustments. I try to have a pretty true steady aim. Third person, this one actually could go up. I spend a lot of my time in third person. Believe it or not, I only use first person for the aiming, and that's only half of the time. So this could probably come up, but this is kind of your personal preference. This one doesn't really matter. It's just really whipping the camera and what you feel safe with. These three here are your big three, really. These are your really big three, because this one here is going to really determine where you're aiming with your gun, right? Like when you clock in with your gun, when you ADS down, this is your big like Call of Duty sensitivity if I was to compare it to something. For me personally, 2.3, I'll even go 2.5 sometimes if I'm using an SMG like Annie. I would start at a 1.6, 1.7, and then I'd work my way up to comfortability. Anything above a 3.5, I would say is pushing it. For dead zit, I've always used 12.9 for my dead zit. I've never went higher on my dead zones. Dead zits are kind of like 12.9 for me, right being a little bit less just because that's kind of my actual aim. This is nice that they added this, so that's great too. Okay, movement. So far as the buttons, I haven't mapped them anything different other than the melee personally. Now the reason of this is, I don't know about you guys out there, but sometimes I get really excited and I like to clench my controller like I'm just choking someone, and I have the tendency for my right thumb to hit the R3 button, which standardly is your melee button, right? If you have your gun out, you can just melee. I found that I like to stick to firefights, and if I'm going to melee someone, I'm going to get behind a building and take the time to whip my melee weapon out. So for me personally, I just annex this, so this way I can smash the R3 button as much as I want, and it'll keep me ADS'd in. I don't know if it'll help you guys. It's definitely a helpful tip that it definitely keeps me in diamond. Views and everything else, I haven't figured out leaning for console, so I'm definitely going to be doing a video on that to try to get this in the game. I have seen people do it, but for me, as far as mapping to any kind of button, I haven't got it right yet. Everything else seems to be the same. Interface is the same. Spectator mode's the same, guys. So yeah, that's going back over it again. Your dead Z or your dead zone and your first person multiplier are your three biggest ones. Let's head over to PC and let's see if there's anything different. As you can tell, I'm a lower level on PC, and I'm kind of stuck in solo bronze and duo bronze and everything else bronze instead of the diamond god that I am on console. But everything else stays the same. Now for this, for PC, I like to keep everything low and medium. I'm not really trying to tax my PC too much. Texture, it's, personal preference. High resolution for visuals, rain effects, there's not really any rain effects. Indoor reflection pools, I mean, some of these, if your PC can handle it, great. I probably should have VSync on. Probably should have that on. But everything else, auto resolution, you could go all the way up. fine like this, personally. Beautiful. Runs beautifully. Okay. Sound, it's about the same. I've got the ambient all the way down, sound effects up, music's about the same, interface same. Nothing changes really. I mean, I could have that on. Voice chat's a little different. Now this is something that's a little bit different and unique to PC because voice chat is not in console right now. And so I have my Yeti that I'm using right now, push to talk, because I don't want them hearing every single move that I make. Control-wise, because controls are a little bit different. Now for PC, you see I have a very tighter, everything's very tight. And that's just because I'm getting used to the mouse and the mouse speed and the rotations, but I can definitely tell you, this is probably gonna go down, this is gonna come up to about right here, this is gonna come up to here, and this is probably gonna go down to about right there. About right there. As far as the actual controls themselves, you have a gamepad and keyboard hotkeys. It's great having the double, like, little shortcuts. But I don't change anything else there. Everything stays pretty much the same. You notice you don't have the quality over performance kind of thing here. You really just kind of get to pick yourself. But that's it, guys. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know in the comments section down below, guys. As always, stay fierce.